It rained and snowed in this area yesterday. A sellout crowd, better than 18,000 still, making their way into U.S. Airways Center. The NBA on TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. It's the red-hot Miami Heat, winners of 12 of the last 13 games, facing the new-look Phoenix Suns in Game 2 of our Thursday night doubleheader. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert, along with the one-time general manager of the Phoenix Suns, Steve Kerr. What are you, the mayor here? You're running for office?
Well, term limits, Marv. I'm over it. I'm done now.
People coming over, shaking hands, giving you little back slaps. I just can't figure it out. We'll be joined momentarily by Craig Sager working the sideline. Both clubs ready to go. A look at the starting lineups for Miami. LeBron James, Chris Bosh have played very well during the recent 12-game win streak, but Dwayne Wade will sit out tonight, as the guys mentioned, due to a sore left knee. James Jones, the starter, making his first start of the season. They're facing a Phoenix team that is in the midst of change. Tonight, you see the lineup: Grant Hill, Channing Frye, Robin Lopez up front, Jared Dudley, Steve Nash at the guards. The new additions: Marcin Gortat and Michael Petrus will come off the bench. Vince Carter, with a knee injury, expected to play the Suns' next game against the Clippers on Sunday. He is inactive this evening. Phoenix with a record of 13-14. They have dropped 5 of their last 7 games. This past Monday night in San Antonio, lost to the Spurs 118-110. That made it 10 straight for San Antonio, but that streak ended tonight in the first of our doubleheader. And Miami now, Steve, at 21-9, and they come off a loss at home in Miami as they lost to the Mavericks in a 2-point game, 98-96.
Well, the Heat have found their game. I mean, they've figured some things out since early in the season, and I think they took advantage of a weak schedule, frankly, to gain their momentum. But it's worked. Eric Spoelstra has them believing in what they're doing. I think you've seen Wade and LeBron play extremely well together now for the last several weeks, and Chris Bosh has been pretty consistent all season long.
Channing Frye committing that foul, putting Bosh at the line. Bosh, a 5-time All-Star as a member of the Toronto Raptors. Take a look at the first 17 games where they struggled with that record of 9-8. As opposed to the last 13 games.
And you see the offensive numbers there, which are really impressive. 44% from 3. That's obviously huge with everybody stacking up on LeBron and Wade. But the more impressive numbers are defensively. During that stretch, they held opponents to 84 points a game. So this is one of the top defenses in the league.
Here is Dudley for 3. Jared Dudley coming off a career high the other night in that game against San Antonio. Hit 10 of 16 from the field, 27 points, including 3 from downtown. Grant Hill opening up on LeBron James. Here is Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
That's his game. He's going to pick and pop with LeBron all night, shooting a career high 54% from the field right now, but not playing as much as he has in the past.
Frye unable to hit on the 3. Dudley with the rebound. Lopez stripped by LeBron. And now Dudley defending on James. Later on, we'll see Michael Petrus. Dudley staying with James as they clear it out. Now Ilgauskas came over. They swing it. And as Arroyo makes his move, he stepped out of bounds.
And I think we're going to see the LeBron James of old tonight. And I mean, kind of pre-Miami. He's going to have the ball in his hands constantly. He's going to get the ball in transition. He's going to probably have a season high in assists, I would believe, just because the ball will be in his hands so often.
So you're going to see a Cavalier-like performance.
Oh, nice, Mark.
Where he'll be pounding the ball, which led to success. There's success. LeBron James off the lob. And that gets this crowd going.
I think it's exactly right. We will see a Cleveland version of LeBron. He will dominate this game offensively tonight, whereas in the past, he's shared the responsibility with Wade.
Hill not able to hit, but they keep it alive. Nash played by Arroyo. Lopez over to help on the screen. Here's the pick and roll. Lopez called for the charge.
Alvin Gentry not at all happy, saying that Lopez has to have room to come down. But meanwhile, at the other end, these are the highlight reel plays that everybody comes to see. This is why this arena is sold out tonight. LeBron sky high for the finish.
This is a Miami team that got off to that shaky start. They opened up at 5-4, then won 3 straight, followed by a 3-game losing streak. After a loss in Dallas, they were 9-up and 8 down, and then they reeled off the 12 straight wins. Ilgauskas way off, and the 12 straight included the 28-point blowout of the Cavaliers. And Cleveland, nice move as Grant Hill gets inside. LeBron in that game scored 38 in front of an angry crowd, and that may have turned things for the Heat as they began not only to win, but they beat teams convincingly.
It was kind of a circle the wagons type mentality that Miami created with that game, and it carried over. We talked a little bit about the weaker schedule as well, as Dudley comes up with the steal, but Miami definitely on a roll here the last few weeks.
Nash weaving his way in, got it to Lopez, and then Ilgauskas able to tip it away. Hill is back on James. And again, they clear it out. Fry trying to front Bosh. Bosh using his footwork as the reverse block.
I think that's the difference when Lopez is on the floor for Phoenix, and you'll also see it when Gortat comes into the game later. That's why the Suns are excited about this trade. Now they're going to constantly have a 7-footer at the rim just to cover up defensively for penetration.
Robin Lopez back from that sprained left knee. He sat out 14 games. James went behind the back, but it's off the mark.
Well, he talked a little bit about the defense of Phoenix, and they've taken a big step backwards this year, partly because of Lopez's absence. I think also the departures of Amari Stoudemire, Lou Amundsen. Those were the big 3 in terms of the defense last year, as Channing Frye knocks in the jump hook. But they had a better presence inside, more energy. I think the roles were more defined, and they've struggled to kind of find their identity this year so far at the defensive end.
Bosh puts a move on Frye, and then Dudley over to Double. They swing it. Dudley back on James. Dudley put the hand in the face of James, and James not able to hit from 3. Here's Dudley with the step and the layup.
Now Dudley's had a terrific month after a slow start in November. His numbers have been really solid here in December, coming off that career-high game, as you talked about earlier, Marvin. We see a travel from Arroyo, but Dudley has given the Suns that same energy and toughness and the ability to create extra possessions for Phoenix that we saw last year. And you see those numbers. His shooting has really picked up here.
In his 4th season out of Boston College, Lopez, nice fake, and James stepped away. The foul is called. The basket counts.
And Alvin Gentry almost had a heart attack because it didn't look like the call was going to be made. LeBron James clearly off his feet. Take a look. Nice pump fake from Lopez. This is an automatic foul. He jumps in, he draws the contact. There wasn't going to be a call at first, and Alvin Gentry, furious, jumping off the bench, and at last the call was made.
Robin Lopez had a breakthrough season last year, came on very strong in the playoffs. He is the twin brother of the Nets center, Brook Lopez. Now they double up on James. Bosh from straight away. Yes, Chris Bosh. So the Suns now lead at 12-8.
I'm not sure I would double LeBron down on the post and leave Bosh open. That's his game, shooting that little 18-footer. I think Grant Hill can handle LeBron on the block because of the fact that LeBron's not really a post-up guy.
And Lopez shows the outside touch. 6-point lead for Phoenix. Suns doing a nice job against LeBron James. James trying to cut to the baseline. Ilgauskas not able to find him. Shot clock down to 4. James off the double pump. James with the rebound and puts it in.
So quick with that second jump, coming off offensive rebounds and deflections. He just finds the ball.
Tripping foul. Dudley taking the pass from Nash. Tripped up. So he will head to the line.
Watch how hard Grant Hill works and makes LeBron work for the ball. You can see the frustration already. Couple of picks, Couple of back cuts. He finally gets the ball back off the rebound and puts it in, but Grant Hill will make LeBron work all night.
Jared Dudley, 82% free throw shooter. Joel Anthony will come on for Miami, replacing Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Later on, we'll see Mike Miller, who made his return Monday night against Dallas in uniform for the first time during the regular season. Missed the first 29 games. Made it back from surgery on his right thumb. Only 0 for 4 the other night in a short stint, but we may see more, according to Eric Spoelstra, of Miller this evening. Here's Arroyo, goes right at Lopez, rebounded by Fry. Anthony pressing Lopez, and then hands it off wisely.
Wisely, much to the delight of the crowd.
Nash able to penetrate and try to find Lopez, but the pass ends up out of bounds. Timeout taken. Just under 6 remaining in this first quarter, and a good start for the Suns here at home against Miami. Very nice.
Okay. Specially priced item of the week, the purple Hushek Santa Cap. Normally priced at $52. Tonight, we've marked it down 50% to
Major contributions from their new faces. Richardson, Turkoglu, and Arenas combining for 40 points in that win over the Spurs. Now the Phoenix Suns are hoping to get similar results from their new faces. Vince Carter will make his debut on Sunday against the Clippers. He easily could become their leading scorer. Marcin Gortat is looking forward to playing significant minutes for the first time in his 6-year career. And Michael Pietrus, well, he's known as a defensive stopper at times and an outside shooter, but at practice yesterday, he told Alvin Gentry, I want you to run some plays for me. He said, I had my best game ever against the Suns. I scored 28 against you guys. And Alvin Gentry said, you stick to playing a backup role. Everybody had the highest game against us.
All right, Craig, and the Suns also had a friendly controversy in determining which numbers the new players would wear. Arroyo, a little too strong, rebounded by Hill. Vince Carter, for example, has always been number 15. That happens to be Robin Lopez's number. Oh, Nash kicks it out. He has Hill in the corner for 3. Nash had the shot, but he saw that Grant Hill was wide open. So Vince could not take number 15. He settled for number 25, his number for an all-star game. There's James Jones on a catch and shoot, rebounded by Fry. Gortat wanted number 13. He says he
Good luck with that one.
Yeah, a fellow by the name of Steve Nash is wearing number 13. Channing Frye, 1 of 10 the other night in the game against San Antonio. 0 of 8 from downtown, is able to knock it down to give the Suns an 18-10 lead. And Gortat settled on number 4. Foul is called. Foul on the Suns, and here is the debut of Marcin Gortat coming on for Robin Lopez. Grant Hill called for that foul. And as we saw earlier, just before we came on the air, Michael Pietrus mentioning that he had worn number 2. That happens to be the number of his teammate Goran Dragic. Or number 20, which is worn by another member of the Suns, Garrett Seiler, said, I tried to take number 34, but I forgot about Charles Barkley. They say he was retired. Off the steal, Dudley to Hill. Miami able to get back quickly. He said, they told me I was retired. I was like, how come?
This guy Charles Barkley used to play with.
He said, don't tell Charles. Gortat draws the foul. So Pietrus is wearing number 12.
I like the trade, you know, I'm just talking to people here in Phoenix, management obviously, but the fans. You know, Phoenix has had such a lack of big men over the years, and Gortat is a potential starting center. At minimum, he's a 25-minute-a-night guy. I think he and Lopez will split time, which will always give Phoenix a nice defensive presence. Dudley knocking down the 3. He's off to a good start.
Dudley last year shot 46% from three-point land, 4th in the NBA, and as Mario Chalmers, who just checked in, moves across that midcourt line, Eric Spoelstra says, we're going to talk it over. Suns jumping in front 21-10.
Well, the Suns are taking Alvin Gentry's advice, 21 points in 8 minutes. And what's interesting is, most teams like Dallas the other night, they want to slow Miami down because they've got to keep LeBron and Wade out of the full court. But with Phoenix, as long as Steve Nash is here, they have to play fast to be successful. The key for Alvin Gentry and the Suns tonight, they can't turn it over. They've got to execute offensively. If they take care of the ball and make shots, it'll keep LeBron and the Heat in that half court.
Mike Miller has checked in, as I mentioned earlier, played briefly the other night, went 0 for 4 from the field. This is Miller with it, guarded by Dudley. Just under 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager. We're in Phoenix, and the Suns off to a 21-10 lead. James over Hill. And Grant Hill has played him very well.
Well, think about the matchups that Hill runs into night after night. This is one of the reasons the Suns wanted Petrus in the trade. He had to guard in the last week alone. Carmelo, he had Ginobili. He was supposed to have Wade tonight. Now he takes LeBron instead. It's amazing what he does defensively.
Joel Anthony coming up with a block on Hill. Chalmers with the alley-oop. James has to make the catch. It was slightly off, and he's called for a traveling violation. So the ball back to Phoenix.
Now take a look coming in transition, and this is what the Suns feared. The pass just a little bit too high. It'll be a turnover for Miami, but when we talked about Phoenix taking care of the ball, they have 4 turnovers already. Heat with 6. But fortunately for Phoenix, those 4 turnovers have only resulted in 2 Miami points, so they've done a nice job in transition.
It's like Grant Hill, they have twisted his leg as he went down at the other end, and Petrus came on, took that shot, which is back tap to Nash. Nash and Chalmers come together. The foul is on Nash.
Wow.
Benny Adams working with Greg Willard, and Gary Zielinski makes the call right here.
Well, he's holding his eye, but he got hit in the arm. So let's take a look. I think he got hit with the head, but there's no foul there. Benny Adams making the call. I think based on Chalmers' reaction, and Steve Nash understandably upset. That should have been a no call.
How about the start for Nash? Phoenix with 8 field goals. Nash has 8 assists. He has assisted on each field goal. James over Petrus. Gortat with the rebound, tipping it to Nash, and a foul called on the Heat.
And I think that's where Petrus will come into play. The Suns will miss Jason Richardson scoring, but Petrus is a better defender. And now they've got a guy who they can throw in there with Grant Hill to cover the LeBron Jameses of the world. And you see the post-up work by Petrus. He's got that length to bother James. If I'm Phoenix, I go one-on-one in the post with James all night. Make him beat you with that jump hook. That's really not his game.
Joel Anthony on the foul. Goran Dragic, who came on very strong last season, particularly in the playoffs, is checked in for Steve Nash. Dragic played by Chalmers with help from Juwan Howard. Bad pass. Here comes James. 3-on-1. James all the way. Yes! And the foul. What a move by LeBron James. The foul committed by Jared Dudley.
It's almost automatic. You see LeBron get head of steam right here. It's an automatic 2 points and maybe 3, because you'll see a foul frequently like this one on Dudley. So fast, so strong. And Phoenix is lucky that Wade's not here tonight, because normally they have 2 guys who can finish in transition like that.
LeBron averaging better than 24 points per game. Wade at 23.5. Dwayne is inactive tonight due to a knee injury. 21-15. Suns with the lead. Getting back to the trade between Phoenix and Orlando as they put pressure on Dragic. Here's a 2-parter for you, Steve. Can Vince Carter still do it on a regular basis? Will Steve Nash make him better? Remember, the Jason Kidd-Vince Carter combination did work for a while with the Nets, and Vince sitting it out this evening. Chalmers called on that foul.
Well, the interesting thing with Vince is he's 33 years old. And you think about the Phoenix training staff, the much heralded staff that has helped turn around the career of Grant Hill, and before that, Antonio McDyess, Shaquille O'Neal. They've helped Steve Nash immeasurably. I think Vince is coming here at the perfect time in his career because they can really help him get right physically. And remember, he's got a team option for next year, which the Suns almost surely will not exercise. It's for $18 million. I think it has a $4 million buyout. So he knows he's probably going to be a free agent at the end of the year. I think the Suns are getting him at the perfect time. The training staff can help him. I think by the end of the year, you'll see him in much better condition.
Why do you feel it did not work for Hedo Turner here in Phoenix? Did not work for him in Toronto.
Yeah.
He's not a happy guy. Obviously, a couple of years back, played extremely well for the Magic when they made it to the NBA Finals, and now he's back with Orlando.
Well, two things. I think the big one is that this is Steve Nash's team, and the ball will always be in Steve Nash's hands, as it should be. And Turkoglu is a guy who wants the ball in his hands, and it's just not the right fit between he and Nash. But secondly, as Dragic tries to get all the way to the hoop, with he and Nash, with Turkoglu here, his best years are behind him. He's just not the same guy that he was a couple years ago.
Now, Dragic and Howard become entangled. The foul is called on Dragic. So Phoenix over the foul limit, as is Miami, and Juwan Howard will shoot two. Juwan Howard at 37 years of age in his 17th season out of Michigan, and has played an important role off the bench for Erik Spoelstra. As we take a look at the upcoming national television schedule, Christmas Day on ESPN starting at 12 noon. It's the Bulls playing the Knicks in New York. Knicks earlier this season beat Chicago in the Windy City. On ABC, Boston at Orlando at 2:30, and then the Miami Heat and the LA Lakers. And you hear it from both coaches, be it Phil Jackson or Erik Spoelstra. They don't want to put too much pressure on this game. They say, well, obviously it's an important game on the schedule, but it's not going to determine what happens down the road.
Well, they're always going to underplay it for sure, but it is a big game. I think especially for Miami, they've played so much better. Look out, almost a turnover with LeBron. But Miami has played so much better, but in this streak, they have not beaten a lot of really good teams. So that's their next step as a club, to beat better teams.
Shot clock was running down, and it is a 24-second violation. The official will check it out over the scores table, perhaps put some time back on the clock because the ball was deflected out of bounds by Miami. They are putting 1 second back. So in effect, that's a protective rationale from the part of Laker players and Miami players, so the team that loses can just move on.
Yeah, they can just move on. And how about, I don't know if you saw what Bill Walton said to Erik Spoelstra the other day. He got it in a press conference. He said, Coach Spoelstra, with the Lakers struggling, do you think Phil Jackson may lose his job in LA? Kind of a little jab at Phil.
All right, here is Fry. Had to fling one from three-point range to avoid a 24-second violation.
I don't think Eric bit. I think he just chuckled and said, we're gonna move on to the next question.
Picked off by Childress, who just came on. Josh Childress, met by Mario Chalmers. Now to a half minute left in this opening quarter. Fly, way off, and Miller with the rebound.
How about Miami's defense? There was a timeout at the 4-minute mark. It was 21-10. They have since held the Suns to 1 point in the last 4 minutes.
And that's since Steve Nash sat down.
Coincidence? I think not.
Miami allows only 91 points again. That's second in the NBA. That spin by James. What a move. He thought he was fouled. Final seconds of the first. Dragic behind the back. Dragic to the rim. What a move, though, by Goran Dragic. That's the end of the first here in the Valley of the Sun. Phoenix with a 22-19 lead. Miami ends the first quarter on a 9-1 run. On TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Moments ago, Craig Sager with Miami head coach Erik Spoelstra.
Well, Eric down by just 3, but at one point down by 11. How much is that attributed to the fact that Dwayne Wade was a last-minute
That's
decision?
part of it, but that's not an excuse. I mean, there's some rhythm that we're missing with that, but we were a little bit disjointed and frantic offensively. That's led to a lot of their offense. I imagine we'll be sharper in the second quarter.
The defense gave up only 1 point in the last 4 minutes. What was different defensively for you?
We were a little bit better offensively, but that's our game, and we're allowing them to play their drive and kick game. Too many easy threes early on.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Marv.
All right, Craig. Chris Bosh opening up the second quarter by rimming out. Miami 7 of 16 from the field in the first quarter. Phoenix 8 of 19. With Steve Nash coming up with all 8 assists for the Suns. 2 of the new members of the Phoenix Suns on the court, and they combine as Gortat is able to hit on the pass for Pietrus.
Well, think about Orlando after the trade. They had to play back-to-back games right away. Phoenix has had the last couple of days to practice, and you can see right away the Suns run a pretty elaborate offensive set. Both players perfectly in tune.
Bosh with the step. Nice move. Chris Bosh driving the lane. Goran Dragic remains in. At the point, they double up on him. Gortat played by Anthony. Gortat with the turnaround. Slapped out by Dragic. Here's Pietrus for 3. Childress grabbing the rebound, but called for the foul. Loose ball foul on Josh Childress.
Well, we're going to see Miami run their offense through Chris Bosh right now with LeBron on the bench. He's gotten the first 2 shots of this quarter. And so you're looking at probably a lot of pick and pop situations for Bosh with Hakeem Warwick guarding him. Try to get Bosh going a little bit.
Here's the lead pass for Bosh. Anthony keeps it alive. Jones for 3. Bosh gets to it. Another opportunity for the Heat. Chalmers now sets it up. Good start, though, for LeBron James. 5 of 8, 11 points. Here's Chalmers with the runner. The other night in the loss to the Mavericks, LeBron went scoreless in the first half, which is most unusual. The last time that happened was October of 2007 for Cleveland against the same Maverick team. Not the same guys, but the same franchise.
Same franchise.
Yes. 2 minutes gone by, second quarter. Chalmers gets inside. A nice move by Mario Chalmers, who's picked it up as of late.
Well, he had that ankle injury in training camp that really set him back. Remember, he was coming off a terrible season a year ago where he fell out of favor with Eric Spoelstra, but he's really played well here this month. Gives Miami another defender in the backcourt.
Good play defensively by the Heat. And off the steal, Chalmers gets the pick from Bosh. Bosh with room over Warwick.
7 turnovers now for Phoenix, and that's led to 7 points from Miami. But the Suns have really been disjointed offensively since that 4-minute mark, and Alvin Gentry wants to talk it over.
8-0 run for Miami. Phoenix has hit only 1 of its last 10 shots over the last 6 minutes and 45 seconds. And we are looking at a 17-3 run by the Heat. Opening night, they lose to the Celtics. Expectations so high for this team. They go 9-8 through the first 17 games. They then trounce the Cavaliers in LeBron's return to Cleveland. They go on a 12-game win streak that ended the other night with Dallas beating them at home in Miami. We were talking earlier with Eric Spoelstra about the meaning of the victory in Cleveland. He points to that game and also the way they played against a hot Knick team at the Garden, where they just took over in the second half.
Well, before that Cleveland game, they really looked disjointed, and they didn't look together as a team. We're going to see a foul on Miami here, but that game, there was so much bitterness and anger directed towards LeBron James, and Spoelstra told us he felt like the team really galvanized around LeBron and with each other, and that was kind of the turning point. And that Knick game was just a fantastic first half played by New York. They were on fire, and the Heat just absolutely took them apart defensively in the second half.
That basket will not count as a charge called on Childress.
We're seeing the struggles of Phoenix without Steve Nash. Now, this is a club that doesn't have a lot of guys who can take people off the dribble. Nash is always their engine, and we'll see how long of a rest Alvin gives them, because Phoenix in a major cold spell right now.
Pushing foul on Chalmers. No, they say it's on Dragic.
That's a tough call. He doesn't reach in at all. He gets hit with an elbow. That's a really difficult call.
Dragic going for the steal. It's recovered by Chalmers. Dragic poked it away. It's getting a little personal between the two as Bosch is turned back. Pietrus played by Bosch. Pietrus, nice move. Went baseline and able to bank it home.
Vince Carter likes it. It's going to be interesting when Carter does come back. The Suns will still be overloaded at that wing position. Somebody's going to get left out, whether it's Pietrus or Childress.
Jones for three. James Jones, who has come back from injury. He's been hitting the three-pointers at 44% from downtown, starting in place of the injured Dwayne Wade.
Phoenix fans know Jones pretty well. He played an important role on Mike D'Antoni's teams here several years ago.
Off the block, nice recovery as Childress lays it home. Miami up by 2.
I think those were 2 important buckets for Phoenix, just to get some rhythm and to keep Steve Nash on the bench for a couple more minutes.
Gortat with the rebound. Dragic going behind the back. Dragic changed his mind. He thought he might go the lane, then it was closed. And ball was deflected out, last touched by Miami.
And that's what Dragic has to learn about Childress. I know they're relatively new to each other, but they've had about 30 games or so. Childress is always going to cut to the rim. You know, guys like Richardson, who we played with for a while, Pietrus now, they're going to space the floor and shoot that three.
Warren comes up short. Gortat with the tip, but it's handled by Chalmers. Miami at 21-9. Bosch is uncovered. Miami able to take advantage. And Miami now leads by 4. On the road, the Heat has won 9 and dropped 5. In fact, that loss the other night, their first since back on November the 27th. That loss taking place in Dallas. And that led to the team meeting. Miller on the foul, that's his second. Now Robin Lopez and Grant Hill will check back in.
No, and this is inexcusable. Hakeem Warwick has to read this because Gortat has already picked up Anthony, and that's just simple communication between 2 big players. And if you're the back guy, the most important thing to cover is the rim. And that's a major mistake. In a game like this, I mean, Miami's so good defensively. Points are tough to come by. You can't give up 2 easy ones at the other end.
Hill over Anthony, rebounded by Bosch. Jared Dudley has also returned for the Suns. Arroyo back from Miami. Here's Bosch over Lopez. Rebounded by Dudley. So Dudley and Dragic in the backcourt. Warwick up front with Hill and Lopez. Dudley open for 3. Lopez on the rebound is fouled by Anthony.
He's going to get 2 free throws out of it, too. Smart play by Lopez as he gathered the rebound. Just kind of felt the foul and threw the ball towards the rim.
And now Steve Nash returns, coming on for Goran Dragic. Be there live for all the action. Go to NBA.com/tickets. You can do it now to reserve your seats to see your favorite NBA team take the court. The NBA, where amazing happens. Steve Nash pretty amazing in his first quarter stint, picking up 8 assists on the 8 field goals scored by the Suns.
Steve Nash pretty amazing in his entire stint in the NBA. What an unbelievable player. Just what he does offensively. I think arguably, you could say he's the best shooting point guard in NBA history. I'm not even sure it's an argument when you look at the numbers. And that's what's amazing about that, is that he's not really a shooter first. He's a passer first. He wants to get everybody involved. It's just so many weapons in his arsenal.
Nash averaging 10 assists, second to Rajon Rondo of the Celtics. James back on the floor, missing on the jumper. And here's Eric Dampier, who just came in, had 2 shots at him. Eric Dampier signed as a free agent. Warren way off. Rebounded by Bosch. Miami looking to push. Dudley on the recovery, does not allow the shot by Jones. Ron James, who had an excellent first quarter. Bosch wide open.
That's where James is at his best in the half court. Turn and face from that 15-foot angle. Instead of posting up down on the block, when he faces, he's too quick for everybody and he can find shooters.
Warren. James met by the double. Here's Jones on a step back. Deflected out. And Greg Willard said last touched by Lopez, and now they'll jump it up. The other official said no. Let's call jump ball. Gary Zielinski and Greg Willard had different angles on it. Now Benny Adams over, they're talking about it, and it will be a jump ball.
Alvin Gentry not happy. Eric Spoelstra's not real happy either. That's what happens when you get one of these calls. Officials can't really see, neither can we on the replay. I think that's a good call.
That's a tough one.
We realized that a lot of things went our way to become professional basketball players. To have the opportunity to repay our communities for the goodwill that we received is really important to us. Playing in the NBA gives us visibility that we wouldn't be afforded. So for us to be able to use that visibility for good is a phenomenal opportunity for us to make the world, hopefully, and our communities better.
We welcome you back to the U.S. Airways Center, Phoenix, Arizona. They will jump it up. It'll be Eric Dampier and Robin Lopez. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. And Miami, after a slow start, has taken a 34-29 lead. Oh, Hill got picked off. James to the bucket. Eric Dampier with the screen that sent Hill to the floor.
And James just split that pick and roll defense from Robin Lopez, got right to the rim.
Here's Channing Frye, who just returned. Good hustle by Juwan Howard. James going at Hill, and it's a charge. LeBron James called for the offensive foul. That's his second personal.
Now take a look at this high pick and roll. You're going to see Lopez jump out, and then James crosses up, gets a little lucky. The ball bounces off of Dampier's leg, and then he goes back to that left-hand layup. Let's see if Phoenix gets Dampier involved in a pick and roll situation at some point. He struggles in that on that perimeter right there, and now you see the opening. We'll see if it leads to a shot.
However, the steal is made by James, and LeBron able to take all the way.
Turnover number 9 for Phoenix, and that's what we talked about in the opening. You just can't turn the ball over against these guys. It's an automatic 2.
Lopez missing the tip. Lopez and a crowd is able to lay it home.
Well, Phoenix has to find some offense here. They've gone back to their starting lineup. It's going to be Nash in pick and roll situations. He's the one who has to generate the offense.
Miami in a run, playing 9 of their next 12 on the road. Mike Miller keeps it alive. So Miller getting a nice run here in the second quarter. Miller off the fake, pops it cross court. James able to elude Hill, finds Arroyo. Yes, that's a 2-pointer. Carlos had a foot on the line, and Miami now leads by 9.
And Arroyo has shot those open jumpers all season long.
Dudley for 3. Yes. Arroyo tried to close. He just wanted to get a hand in the face of Dudley to bother the shot, but apparently it did not bother Dudley.
And give Nash the hockey assist, because it's his penetration that starts the play. Even though somebody else made the pass, he had to generate the flow offensively there.
Third 3 for Dudley. Shot clock is down to 3. Down to 1. Arroyo heaves one. Foul is called on Howard making contact with Nash.
Well, if you don't execute offensively against Miami, and if you get a little sloppy, this is automatic. LeBron and sometimes Wade when he's healthy, but both these guys, incredible finishers.
Silent night. I saw Mama kissing the Santa Claus.
Yes, that's our version of the Gong Show. We'll give it call it a nice try. We'll call you guys.
Nice of you to loan those guys your sweaters.
You notice
those
that?
are all your collection, right? Yeah, really nice holiday sweaters.
It's for those winter days. Dudley faking on a three, eluding Miller. He's had the hot hand. 5 of 6. He's the high point man for the Suns with 14 coming off that career high of 27.
But with Jason Richardson gone, their leading scorer, Dudley comes in 27 last game, on his way again tonight.
Oh, James able to take to the rim. LeBron with 17 points on 8 of 13 from the field. What a pickup Jared Dudley was for the Phoenix Suns. Who made that extraordinary deal? Lopez gets the roll.
I don't know. He should have been GM of the year, I think. They should redo the vote, don't
That
you
was
think?
the trade you did with Charlotte. Boris Diaw ending up with the Bobcats.
Yeah, and Raja Bell, and then Richardson and Dudley came. It was actually a really good trade for both teams. Diaw and Raja Bell helped that club. Diaw in particular, as Fry comes up with the block. But Diaw really helped Charlotte get to the playoffs a year ago. Pretty good trade for both teams, I think.
Mike Miller turned back on that block shot by Channing Frye. Lopez with a pass that is picked off. Here comes Chalmers going at Nash. Rebounded by Frye in a crowd, and he's fouled by Chalmers.
That'll be 2 free throws for Channing Frye. You know, it's interesting just talking to the Phoenix people. Robin Lopez still has struggled with that back injury that he suffered late last season. He doesn't have that same quickness he had. He's still working his way back.
And then Robin with the sprained left knee, which sidelined him for 14 games. Frye to the line. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Ernie. I'm very generous about the sweater collection. Final minute of play. First half, 3-point lead for Miami. Shot clock down to 3. And that is deflected out. Last touch by Frye. Well, apparently a leg block because they put 14 on the shot clock.
This gives Miami a chance to go for a 2-for-1 if they choose to do so.
James Jones checking back in, coming out for Mario Chalmers. For those who may have just tuned in, Dwayne Wade sitting it out tonight with a sore knee. Miami hopes to see him back in action Christmas Day, Saturday afternoon against the Lakers at Staples. Bosh open for a moment, and then a most unusual delivery. He thought he was fouled. Nash for Hill. Dampier with the rebound. Miami can hold for a final shot of this first half.
I'm just so impressed with Miami's defense, especially without Wade, who is one of their best perimeter defenders.
Phoenix does have a foul to give. Down to 5 seconds. Here's James to the rim. It counts, and the foul. LeBron James with a sensational move. Accelerated as he hit the paint.
And this is what the crowd comes to see on the road. LeBron James splitting that pick and roll again and then just powering his way through the entire Suns defense. And he does that like nobody else on earth.
19 points for James on 9 of 14 from the field. Quite a turnaround from that first half against the Mavericks Monday night. Did not score for the first time since October of 2007. And Alvin Gentry takes a timeout with 3 3/10 seconds to go in this first half. We'll take a break. Back in a moment. Incredible stuff. You can hear the chatter.
Yeah.
You hear it, Steve? By James, who was fouled on the play and will look for the three-point possibility. Channing Frye called on the foul. 3 3/10 seconds left in this first half.
And Miami's just picking that high screening roll with Lopez apart. LeBron continues to split it. Phoenix has to make an adjustment in the second half.
Miami up 45-39. Suns have to hurry. They stop Nash, gets it to Dudley, fires away, and that's the end of the first half. Jared Dudley, the high man for Phoenix with 14. Robin Lopez with 10. 10 assists for Steve Nash. The story for Miami, LeBron James, 9 of 14 from the field. 4 assists, 2 rebounds, total of 20 points for Nash. Let's go to Craig with LeBron.
Well, LeBron, after coming off a scoreless first half against Dallas, you certainly made up for it tonight. That was pretty spectacular, particularly the last dunk. How do you find room to get to the rim?
You just got to take the creases while they're there. You know, myself, CB, D-Wade, we don't get many creases. And, you know, when I found one, I was able to attack.
You're not always guarded by Grant Hill tonight, but at age 38, he is mostly assigned to you. What respect do you have for him at his age?
A lot. Any guy that can still run up and down the court. With multiple ankle surgeries and multiple foot injuries he's had. You know, he's real still athletic. You know, don't have the explosion above the rim, but he still can run up and down the court with the best of them.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll be back with the T-Mobile Halftime Report. EJ, Kenny, and Charles in our TNT Arena in Atlanta.
Tonight on another action-packed edition of NBA Live, the Knicks are back at the Garden, hoping to get back on the winning track, but have a tough test with Kevin Durant and the Thunder in town. Plus, the Nuggets and the Spurs face off in a rematch that once again has fans on the edge of their seats. All that and more is coming up now on NBA Live.
Now Kobe hesitates, and he'll go to the line.
LeBron James spins and scores.
During this winning stretch, the Big Three have played like the Big Three.
Fast and furious action. Oh!
We were just trying to run our offense and play solid on defense.
No one's going to hand us wins. You're going to have to go take it. They're going to be hard.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way, Durant. You talk about fast and furious action. We got it right here.
Amari Stoudemire and the Knicks looking to get back to their winning ways as they host Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. First quarter action, Jeff Green, great backdoor pass. Kevin Durant, nice finish there. Take another look, the flip up and in by Durant. Second quarter, Tony Douglas with a nice dish to Ronnie Turiaf, who really likes it. Then Amari loses control. Wilson Chandler gains control. And that dunk is out of control. Chandler, strong flush. Here come the Knicks again. Nice bounce pass from Danilo to Raymond for 2. A fast-paced offense requires fast-paced highlights. Amari, strong dunk. Keep it moving. Here we go. It's in the third quarter. Now here come the Thunder. Russell Westbrook pushing it up. Kevin Durant putting it in the basket with a strong one-handed jam. On to the fourth quarter we go. Amari Stoudemire, the dish to Landry Fields. He hits the corner three-point shot. Then Danilo Gallinari can't see, so he drips a no-look to Ronnie Turiaf. Strong finish. Knicks win 112-98.
Back up by 20.
Chauncey Billups and the Denver Nuggets without Carmelo Anthony in San Antonio. First quarter action, Manu Ginobili draining three-point shots, putting the Spurs up 5. Then Ty Lawson driving, dishing, Chris Anderson finishing. Nice reverse layup for Anderson. Second quarter, Ty Lawson just driving and finishing himself. Nice move for the and one layup. Tony Parker, the lob. Richard Jefferson, the finish. Jefferson, nice tip in there, putting San Antonio up 2 in the second half. Here comes J.R. Smith. Take another look. The 360, a whirling dervish, but still just 2 points. Fourth quarter, Spurs closing the gap. Manu Ginobili from downtown putting the Spurs up 1. Then in transition, it's Gary Neal, folks, hitting the short jump shot there. Spurs go on to win 109-103 over Denver. Big Ben Wallace and the Detroit Pistons north of the border in Canada taking on the Raptors. DeMar DeRozan with a ferocious one-hand jam in the first. In the second, nice little drive there and finish by Tracy McGrady. Andrea Bargnani with a drive and finish of his own, jamming it home. Take another look. The one-hand stuff from Andrea Bargnani. Then it's Tracy McGrady, old school, hitting threes. McGrady putting up some numbers in this one. Driving, then dishing to Richard Hamilton. He hits a big-time three-pointer. Then it's McGrady driving baseline, turning back the clock, finishing with a reverse layup there. Third quarter, Toronto with the turnover. Pistons pushing the ball. And Tayshaun Prince going to complete the alley-oop layup. It's Charlie Villanueva. Fourth quarter, Richard Hamilton, he nails a three. Pistons win 115-93 over the Raptors. Kevin Garnett is excited. Of course he is. The Sixers are in town. First quarter action, Celts, Sixers, Ray Allen draining buckets at the end of the first quarter. Then in the second, Andre Iguodala, the turnaround jump shot, putting Philly up by 10. Third quarter, Marquise Daniels drives the alley-oop. Shaq almost tears down the rim on that one. Then in the fourth, Elton Brand catches a little fire, making it a 1-point game. Now Paul Pierce, the strip, and he's gonna throw it down with one hand. All kinds of craziness going on in Boston. Check it out again. Pierce the drive and the strong finish. He is very excited. Lou Williams driving baseline. He's gonna hit the floater, tying it up. But Paul Pierce going around the screen, hitting the pull-up jump shot there. Fans are popping their jerseys. They are all kinds of excited. Andre Iguodala, the drive to the basket, but Kevin Garnett with a big block to save the game for the Celtics to go on to win 85-80. Still to come on NBA Live, Al Jefferson makes his return to Minnesota, but the Jazz once again find themselves in need of a comeback. Plus, we'll show you which plays tonight were good enough to make our top 5. Stay tuned, more NBA Live after this. Welcome back to NBA Live, where Al Jefferson is back in Minnesota as the Jazz face off against his former team, the Timberwolves. Timberwolves getting along without him. Kevin Love hitting the three. Then it's Wesley Johnson. He's going to hit the three. Minnesota in control of this one in the first half, as we go on to see that sometimes you just get a nice tip-in at the buzzer. Kevin Love tipping it in with almost nothing on the clock. However, second half, a different story. Utah coming back. Darren Williams hitting a crazy shot and just surrounded by defenders. Not a problem there as he hits it. Then it's Millsap with a pump fake, the awkward drive, and the reverse layup with the finish. Take another look. Millsap getting it done down low. Now Jazz up by 1. Martell Webster can't hit the three, and here come the Jazz. Timberwolves can't foul, can't get the steal, can't help but watch Gordon Hayward throwing down the two-hand jam in transition, sealing the win. Jazz win 111-107. Joe Johnson and the Atlanta Hawks getting ready to do battle with the Cleveland Cavaliers in Atlanta. First quarter, Antoine Jamison finishes with a pretty hook shot there. And Joe Johnson makes it a little more difficult as far as hook shots go. He drives, loses the handle, gets it back. He's swarmed by defenders, but he still manages to get the hook shot into the hoop. Second quarter, the Hawks are fastly breaking. Jeff Teague, strong one-hand finish there. Then it's Boobie Gibson nailing the shot off the curl. On to Joe Johnson. Highlights in the assist department. Dishing to Marvin Williams for the three-point shot. Wide open downtown. On to the third quarter we go. It's Al Horford in the paint. He hits the spinning hook shot out of the paint. And here comes Mo Williams. The pull-up jumper is going to be good. Mike Bibby all in his face. Doesn't matter. Mo Williams still connects. On to the fourth. Hawks pushing. Jeff Teague. Joe Johnson. Nailed it. Hawks win. 98-84 for the Cavs. Hawks win. Rashard Lewis making his debut as a Washington Wizard as they host the Chicago Bulls. First quarter, Lewis making an impact. Getting the rebound, getting the putback, getting on the pick and roll, getting the jumper, really just getting it all. Second quarter action, it's Derrick Rose with the quickness, not quick enough. Oh no, he didn't! Javon McGee tossing it into the stands. Take another look. Javon, that makes it official. Sign it up. Derrick Rose, you give up or you thirsty for more? Tasty little reverse layup there, avoiding Javon McGee that time. Third quarter, Nick Young getting a second chance, and he does not waste the opportunity. Getting the layup to go, plus the foul on the strong drive. Speaking of strong drives, Derrick Rose splitting the defense, shake and bake, and he nails the floater in the lane over Andre Blatch. On to the fourth quarter, Derrick Rose driving and dishing. Boozer with the finish and the foul. Chicago goes on to win 87-80 over the Wiz. Chris Paul and the New Orleans Hornets hosting the Nets of New Jersey, coached by that man Avery Johnson. First quarter, Nets getting a little sloppy, and here come the Hornets. Chris Paul leading the break, finds Marco Bellinelli. He's going to finish at the rim. Marco Bellinelli trying to do his best to get that International Player of the Night award. Let's see if he gets it. Chris Paul then driving baseline. He dishes to Emeka Okafor for the two-hand slam. Then it's Okafor trying to get it done down low. Travis Outlaw says thanks, but no thanks. And here come the Nets. Devin Harris getting it into the hoop for two. Then it's Chris Paul in the third quarter, using the quickness. Brook Lopez, see ya. And Paul's going to finish with a tasty little floater. Good ball movement by the Hornets. Getting it around and getting it to Emeka, who gets it in with a strong foul. But he's still able to get it to go. And one. On to the fourth quarter, it's Marcus Thornton. Just nailing the pull-up three. And the Hornets go on to an easy 105-91 win over most Nets. Time to sit back, relax, and watch some highlights of Spurs guard Manu Ginobili from Argentina, because he's our International Player of the Night. Ginobili finished with 22 points, including 4 three-pointers, as well as 4 rebounds and 6 assists, and helped lead the NBA best Spurs to a 109-103 win over the Nuggets. Congratulations, Manu. You're the International Player of the Night. We now bring to you our top 5 plays of the night, and at number 5, it's the truth, Paul Pierce.
Pierce with a deflection. Pierce with the hustle. Pierce with the basket.
At number 4, Derrick Rose. Meet Javon McGee.
Rose the other way, and that's rejected by McGee.
Well, that's a good job getting back and then giving help using that long length. Good help from JaVale McGee.
At number 3, check out this dish from Eric Bledsoe.
Bledsoe gets it back. What a feed to DeAndre Jordan for the jam.
You talk about some athleticism.
Flying in at number 2 is J.R. Smith on the 360.
J.R. Smith, whirly bird off the glass, and Pops is giving a timeout after that.
And at number 1, Blake Griffin.
Loses the basketball. Taken by Griffin. He leads the break. To get it back. Slam dunk! Tell me, these guys are fun to watch.
You back to the Valley of the Sun, halftime in Phoenix. Miami Heat with a 45-39 lead on the Phoenix Suns. Miami Heat on a tear. They've won 12 of their last 13 games. What a first half for the combination of LeBron James and Chris Bosh.
Well, with Dwayne Wade out, you knew those two would take over offensively. Bosh was really solid. LeBron, spectacular. Bosh got going with this easy little two, a mistake by the Phoenix defense. Then he proceeded to hit a series of jumpers like this one. LeBron, meanwhile, took advantage in transition. Phoenix with 10 turnovers in that quarter, and every one of them, it seemed, cost them, particularly in that second quarter. And then the pick and roll situation up high really became a problem for Phoenix. That last one, spectacular for James. And you take a look at the Nikon game summary. Phoenix 39% shooting, very unlike that team. Only 4 fast break points. We'll see if Steve Nash decides to take on a little more of an offensive role, Marv. Only 1 field goal attempt for Nash in the first half.
Game summary presented by Nikon. Coolpix's 8100. Well, Phoenix, a team that leads the NBA in scoring with just 39 in the first half. They average 109 points a game. Second in field goal percentage at 48. So to this point, they have been held in check. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, you're right, Marv. Alvin Gentry told his team we cannot win if it's a low-scoring game. They're 0-8 when they don't score at least 100 points. He says we have to pick up the pace, no walking the ball down the floor. I want you to get down the floor even after makes and take a quality shot before Miami can set up their defense. As for the other end, he said Grant Hill's doing a very good job on LeBron James, but he needs help. And he says that's where we'll get it. You will not see much zone as we thought we might have before the game started. He said he likes what he sees so far in the defensive end.
All right, Craig, Grant Hill so occupied at the defensive end. On the offensive side, just 1 of 7 from the field. They double up on Bosh. They wheel it. James with the open 3. Yes.
Great ball movement from Miami. Bosh feeling that double team, and then the extra pass coming from Arroyo.
Phoenix led 21-10, 8 minutes into the game. There's Fry, Channing Frye from Steve Nash. And LeBron James with 12 of Miami's last 14 points.
Well, he's used to this. You know, in Cleveland all those years, he was always the guy with the ball in his hands pretty much every possession. With Wade gone, it's back to the old times.
And Chris Bosh able to take advantage off the pump fake. Able to beat Lopez, 50-41, Miami. Dudley's hit 3 from downtown, and this time takes the hit. Joel Anthony called for the foul. Jared Dudley, 5 of 7 from the field, 14 points in all. And he has 2 shots coming up. Programming reminder, NBA TV. Next Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be Toronto at Memphis. And next week, right here on TNT, we'll be in Orlando for the Knicks and the Orlando Magic. Amari Stoudemire, the former member of the Phoenix Suns, who has been just sensational and among the leaders, the early line favorites when you talk about MVP honors.
And you got to throw Dirk in there. We'll have San Antonio, Dallas in the second part of that doubleheader. So pretty good night of basketball next week.
Coverage starting 7 o'clock Eastern Time with NBA tip-off presented by AutoTrader.com. Arroyo with the fake. Nice move by Carlos Arroyo.
Phoenix has to be pretty careful here to start the third. Miami clearly getting into a little offensive groove, and they're still playing really solid defense. And when Phoenix gets an open shot like that one for Lopez, they have to knock it down. That's the problem. You start to feel pressure that you have to make every open shot that you get.
Arroyo using the double screen. Arroyo puts a move on Nash and goes high off glass. Nice lead pass as they caught Miami as Grant Hill was able to beat LeBron James down the court.
Nash and Hill have such a great synergy between them. They always know what the other one is doing, and Nash as good as anybody at finding a player in transition.
Broken up nicely by Dudley. Arroyo with the look-away pass. It did not fool Dudley.
Watch the play by Hill. Really nice play there, kind of shrugging LeBron off, giving him a little push, and then allows himself just enough space to get away from James.
Bosh off the spin. Now at the other end, Phoenix gives up 110 points per game, which is last in the NBA. Here's Dudley for three. All Miami here at the start of the third quarter. They've opened up a 10-point lead.
And this has been the formula for Miami during this hot streak as James Jones lines up a three. Can't get it to go, but they kind of just squeeze you defensively, and in the second half they get their offense going and really take charge.
Channing Frye from downtown talked about the fact that Miami's been able to put up a lot of points in this first half, and Phoenix leading the NBA at 109 points a game, not able to score. And you mentioned the defense. Miami allows just 91 points a game. That's second behind the Celtics. Shot clock down to 4. James. Rebounded by Anthony.
Boy, that's just a killer if you're Phoenix. You play good defense, you force a horrible James shot, and then Anthony outworks everybody for Phoenix and gets the ball back.
Arroyo on the drive. Lopez cut him off with a hip check. Nash for Hill. Beautifully done. He was just able to elude Bosch with the layup.
Now, they have not been able to get out in transition often. Phoenix has not, but that's just the 6th fast break point tonight. I think they're going to have to try to make some stops and really get out and run. They can't score in the half court.
Arroyo again able to drill it. Carlos Arroyo, 13 points, 4 of 8 shooting. Nash for the pass intended for Dudley was deflected, and the officials will discuss it. Benny Adams, the outside official, had it one way, and Greg Willard said no, the other way. It's last touch by Miami. And here's Marcin Gortat, one of the new members of the Phoenix Suns, coming on for Robin Lopez.
Now, clearly off James's foot. Looked like Dudley was going to have a layup, but that Miami defense quick to recover.
Frye for 3. No question the Suns feel the way to get back into this is by hitting the three-point shot, and they're 37% from downtown, which is 10th in the league. Frye did not like the call, picks up the foul.
I didn't see what happened. Looked like he got tangled up with Bosch. I only caught it at the end. But Channing Frye not happy at all with that call. Let's take a look. A little acting job from Bosch. And no wonder Channing's upset.
Bosch with the step back. What a beautiful stroke. Chris Bosch having another outstanding night. He has 18 points.
Well, and that's 13 shots, and we've talked a lot about LeBron James taking over offensively. How about Bosch? He's normally a guy who gets a lot of shots in his pass.
Bosch off the steal, and he's fouled. Fouled again on Frye.
And Chris Bosch, he's been really solid all year for Miami. Makes a great defensive play here, and on the spin, he's going to get the NBA continuation rule for the free throws. But remember, with Toronto the last couple of years, I mean, he's been the guy, and his field goal attempts are down about 5 per game from last year, which he expected when he came here, and he's done a really nice job of finding his offensive rhythm.
4 fouls on Channing Frye. Well, TBS weeknights, it's Wild and Nocturnal. Catch Conan in his natural habitat on TBS. New episodes of Conan weeknights at 11, 10 Central, only on TBS. Hakeem Warwick, who had a difficult time in the first half, has just come on for Channing Frye.
That's a big foul for Phoenix because Frye just knocked down that three-pointer. You mentioned it, Marv. They've had a tough time scoring here, and Frye gives them that spacing that Nash needs for penetration. So now with Warwick and Gortat, Miami can really load up its defense on Nash.
Steve Nash with 14 assists. Gortat, as Anthony went flying by, Gortat blocked by Jones. Gortat rebounded by James.
James Jones coming over from the weak side.
Crowd wanted a palm on James. We're seeing the entire defensive repertoire on the part of the Miami Heat. Bosch, one-handed by Hill. 6.5 to play in the third quarter. Hill got the step, was tripped up. That's number 3 on James.
Well, look at James Jones come over from the weak side. Gortat thinks he has a layup after faking Anthony. Jones makes the play. Keep in mind, Marv, this is a Miami franchise that is known for its defense. Ever since Pat Riley arrived in Miami all those years ago, as Hakeem Warwick ends up with a slam, just as I'm talking about how great their defense is. But this is a franchise that's been built on a defensive identity, and you can see that it's really carried over. Even with all these changes, it's still a franchise that relies on its defense to make the team go.
And when you think playoffs down the road, that's what you're looking for. Carlos Arroyo with a 3.
They're playing with so much more confidence than we saw earlier in the season. And just you can tell they just feel good about their game.
Here's Warwick, way off, but it's tipped home by Dudley. Kind of a punch tip.
Yeah.
Arroyo, he is feeling it. Had a notion to fire a 3. Offensive foul, illegal pick is called. And it's on James, that's number 4 on LeBron.
Well, this may be the only way Phoenix can get back into this game. A little Freudian slip there. But you see James and Grant Hill get tangled up, and he kind of latches onto Hill's arm. That's a tough call for the official to make. It goes Phoenix's way. We'll see if the Suns can use this to get back in it.
Tonight on another action-packed edition of NBA Live, the Knicks are back at the Garden, hoping to get back on the winning track, but have a tough test with Kevin Durant and the Thunder in town. Plus, the Nuggets and the Spurs face off in a rematch that once again has fans on the edge of their seats. All that and more is coming up now on NBA Live.
Now Kobe on the hesitation. And he'll go to the line.
LeBron James spins and scores.
During this winning stretch, the big 3 had played like the big 3.
Fast and furious action. Oh!
We were just trying to run our offense and play solid on defense.
No one's going to hand us wins. You're going to have to go take it. They're going to be hard.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way, Durant. You talk about fast and furious action. We got it right here.
Amari Stoudemire and the Knicks looking to get back to their winning ways as they host Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. First quarter action, Jeff Green, great backdoor pass. Kevin Durant, nice finish there. Take another look, the flip up and in by Durant. Second quarter is Tony Douglas with a nice dish to Ronny Turiaf, who really likes it. Then Amari loses control. Wilson Chandler gains control. And that dunk is out of control. Chandler, strong flush. Here come the Knicks again. Nice bounce pass from Danilo to Raymond for 2. A fast-paced offense requires fast-paced highlights. Amari, strong dunk. Keep it moving. Here we go. It's in the third quarter. Now here comes the Thunder. Russell Westbrook pushing it up. Kevin Durant putting it in the basket with a strong one-handed jam. On to the fourth quarter we go. Amari Stoudemire, the dish to Landry Fields. He hits the corner three-point shot. Then Danilo Gallinari can't see, so he drips a no-look to Ronny Turiaf. Strong finish. Knicks win 112-98.
Back up by 20.
Chauncey Billups and the Denver Nuggets without Carmelo Anthony in San Antonio. First quarter action, Manu Ginobili draining three-point shots, putting the Spurs up 5. Then Ty Lawson driving, dishing, Chris Anderson finishing. Nice reverse layup for Anderson. Second quarter, Ty Lawson just driving and finishing himself. Nice move for the and one layup. Tony Parker, the lob. Richard Jefferson, the finish. Jefferson, nice tip in there, putting San Antonio up 2. in the second half. Here comes J.R. Smith. Take another look. The 360, a whirling dervish. But still just 2 points.
On NBA.com, you can vote for which player you'd like to follow during the game. Watch 4 isolated camera shots and much more. Check out TNT Overtime Extra on NBA.com. LeBron James, who a moment ago picked up his 4th personal foul, taking a seat. So an opportunity here, well, almost an opportunity for the Phoenix Suns on the steal. Arroyo, back tap, chased by Nash. It's a 12-point lead for the Heat. Dudley for 3. Yes, hesitated for just an instant, but is able to connect from downtown for the 4th time.
Well, you could tell that the fans here during the timeout really sensed that this was the Suns' chance to get back in it, with James going to the floor, going to the bench. Now, big 3 from Dudley. We'll see if the Suns can come up with a stop and really get some momentum here.
Mike Miller looking to put moves on Grant Hill. Here's James Jones with a long 3-point attempt for top rebounds. Dwayne Wade sitting out with the sore knee. LeBron on the bench with the 4 fouls. 4.5 left in the 3rd quarter. Grant Hill rebounded by Mike Miller.
Just 3 for 10 for Grant Hill tonight, Marv. You talked about it. Maybe all the work he's having to do on James is affecting his offense.
Foul is called as Bosch got squeezed between Warwick and Dudley. Thirteen foul on the Suns. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager. We are in Phoenix at U.S. Airways Center. Capacity crowd better than 18,000. Suns trying to reach that 500 mark once again. They're 13-14. They've lost 5 of their last 7. Prior to that, they were 11-9. Now Hill will sit down as Michael Petrus checks back in. While Miami at 21-9, they had that 12-game win streak going until the loss Monday night at home to the Mavericks.
Remember, this is a team that's not used to playing without both James and Wade. Usually at least one of them is on the floor, so let's see what they do offensively here.
Bosch fires a 3 with the shot clock rolling down. Arroyo got picked off. Nash played on the switch, this time by Joel Anthony and Mike Miller. Petrus for 3. Dudley with the rebound and lost control of the ball. Stepped out of bounds.
How about the angle we had right there on the Miami defense? I mean, we're right behind Steve Nash on that play. Every time he comes off a pick, Joel Anthony with those long arms just covering up. Miller also at 6'7". Nowhere to go for Nash. Finally finds Petrus, and then the contest from James Jones. Just brilliant defense from Miami.
Mario Chalmers has checked back in, coming out for Carlos Arroyo, who played very well. Miller guarded by Petrus. Offensive foul. Miller with the shove on Petrus. Mike Miller has gone 16 minutes tonight. He's 0 for 3. Made his return against Dallas on Monday. Went 0 for 4. Tries to work his way back after the surgery on his right thumb.
And I love what his teammate LeBron James said the other night after Miller went 0 for 4. He said, sometimes you're more excited than your legs are in these situations. Gortat comes back with the hoop. We're going to see a timeout from Miami. Phoenix on a little bit of a run here.
They are now within 7. Miami is led by as many as 14. Steve Nash now has 16 assists. 7-0 run by the Suns. 3:17 left in the 3rd. Great one in the building. Muhammad Ali. We're told that he lives in the Phoenix area. There's Larry Fitzgerald, outstanding wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. Jordan Sparks sang the national anthem, did a terrific job, and Senator John McCain. And they have seen Miami jump in front by as many as 14. LeBron James picked up a 4th foul, went to the bench. allowing the Suns to get right back into it. It's now a 7-point Heat lead with 3:17 remaining in the third.
And we discussed whether Erik Spoelstra would go back to James here, and he's not doing it. I like what he's doing. I mean, at some point in the season, you have to build the confidence of your reserve players because these situations will come again. And this unit has to give Spoelstra a couple more minutes, try to hold on to this lead until James comes back.
And I love those discussions during commercial breaks.
They're a lot of fun. Only you didn't have much this
no,
time.
I've had actually nil.
It's just me talking pretty much.
I enjoy that. Shot clock is down to 5. I just nod. And here's Chalmers for 3. So the Heat up by 10. Warwick looking for position on Bosch. Nice fake, cuts left, and draws the foul. It's a blocking foul on Miami.
Well, what a huge shot from Chalmers. I mean, you think they're going to go to Bosch in that situation. He comes off that high pick and roll, no hesitation.
Joel Anthony called for the foul, and Hakeem Warwick, who was acquired from the Bulls in a sign-and trade, will shoot a couple. Here's a look at the upcoming national television schedule. We've been talking about the 5 games on that slate. ESPN starting at 12 noon will have the Bulls and the Knicks from Madison Square Garden. ABC 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Celtics and the Magic in Orlando. Then the Lakers and the Heat from Staples in LA starting at 5 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC. Doubleheader at night. ESPN starting at 8. Denver at Oklahoma City, followed by Portland at Golden State. If you're a basketball fanatic,
it's a good day. 5 games. You might want to spend a little time with the family at some point.
That's it. Strong advice from Steve Kerr. Coming up on 2.5 remaining in the third quarter. Miami with a 68-59 lead. Jones draws the double. Here's Bosch. It counts in the foul. What a move by Bosch. A blocking foul is called on Gortat.
I thought it was a good call, too. I think you're going to see Gortat slide over to his right. He's outside that circle, but he doesn't have position. Really good call from Greg Willard.
22 points for Bosch, 10 coming here in the third quarter. Chris averaging 18 a game has really come on, and they certainly need his numbers tonight with Dwayne Wade sitting out with the sore knee. LeBron James on the bench with the 4 fouls, so Erik Spoelstra can keep LeBron out for a couple of more minutes, I would think.
Remember with Bosch, he had 35 against this same Suns team about a month and got him going.
Good job, Gortat broke it up. Here comes Petrus. Oh, Petrus thought he had a man. It was the official, Gary Zielinski.
Who's really not much of a catch-and-shoot guy.
No. Well, how do you know that for sure?
You know, that's what it says in his bio.
Right? Cannot catch and shoot. Good off the dribble. But the peripheral of Petrus playing tricks.
That could be a case of new players. Miller getting the foul from Gortat, who'll go to the line. Maybe a chance to get him going. But you get a guy who comes to a team. Those are the kinds of plays to really get a feel for his.
17th in Miami, the Heat. Bosch had the 30 flu, had just 2 assists the last 6. Again,
it's always been a tough. Just 0 for 1 from the field. They're just not letting him get an open look.
Chalmers on it. Miller played by Fry. Dampier setting the screen. Nice look. Dampier gets inside, missed on the reverse. A minute left in the third. Lopez making the turn on Bosch, has to give it up. Petrus lost it. 3-on-1. Return pass from Miller off the mark. Bosch can't handle it.
Well, neither team really has a guy on the court who can create off the dribble. Dragic can at times, but Chalmers doing an excellent job on him. And both teams, as a result, struggling to find an open look.
Petrus for 3. Rebounded by Bosch. So Petrus now 1 of 6 from the field.
I think for the Suns, eventually they'd like Vince Carter to play when Nash is not on the floor to try to create that extra offense.
That's a 3-point attempt by Chalmers, kept alive by Bosch. Vince Carter out with a swollen left knee, hopes to make his Suns debut in the game against the Clippers in LA on Sunday night. Chalmers with a handoff to Bosch. This has not been pretty basketball the last couple of minutes.
This has been tough to watch.
We're down to 0.4 of a second, and that will do it for the third quarter. Suns did have that opportunity with LeBron James sitting out after picking up a 4th personal. Not able to take advantage. After 3, the Heat 72, the Suns 59. States Marine Corps. Moments ago, Craig Sager caught up with Phoenix head coach Alvin Gentry.
Well, you told me at halftime you wanted to get the pace quicker, but 72-59 doesn't seem like it's working.
No, it's not. It's not. But, able to come up with some stops and run out on stops. We're not doing a very good job. We're getting beat on drive-bys, and we're not protecting the basket at all. So
LeBron James with 23. So does Chris Bosh. What adjustments you have to make on Bosh?
Well, we got to guard him. And LeBron drives to the basket, someone's got to step in. Chris has made some jump shots, and we can live with some of those, but we just got to do a much better job overall defensively, and really disappointed in the way we're playing.
All right, thanks a lot. Back to you, Marv.
All right, thank you, Craig. Stay right here, says the official Gary Zielinski, as Robin Lopez was fouled.
Well, you talk about Phoenix's defensive struggles. Look at the numbers this year. 30th in points allowed, field goal percentage, 29th in rebound margin. And that was the area that Alvin really improved with this club a season ago. 11th in field goal percentage defense, which is remarkable for a team that plays that fast. Dudley knocking down the 3. But I think that's the reason for the trade, Mark. They're really looking for Petrus and Gortat to give them that defensive edge, but it's going to take some time.
Dudley's 5th 3-pointer, 5 of 7 from downtown. LeBron James back on the floor playing with the 4 personals. Here is Juwan Howard, and it's tipped home. Eric Dampier with his first field goal. 74-62, Miami. Hill with Fry and Lopez on the front line. Dudley and Dragic are at the guard. That's a tough pass to handle, and Suns got bailed out on the pushing foul committed by Arroyo. Just underway, 4th quarter. Miami trying to make a 13 out of the last 14. Phoenix losers of 5 of their last 7 as they look to hit the 500 mark once again. Dragic rebounded by Dampier.
How about the combination of Nash and Dragic to this point? Scoreless for Phoenix, and this is a pick-and-roll team that relies heavily on both those guys. James gets fouled here, and I think it's really a testament, talking about Nash and Dragic's struggles, at least shooting the ball. It's a testament to Miami's pick-and-roll defense. This is as good as we've seen. We've seen Boston a couple times, and they are phenomenal defensively. I think Boston and Miami, probably the 2 best teams in the league covering pick-and-roll.
Steve Nash has attempted just 1 shot, 0 for 1 from the field. All right, here's James. That's a 2-pointer. Solid game for LeBron James. 25 points on 11 of 17 from the field.
Bosch goes to the bench, and immediately the offense goes right back through LeBron.
Dudley again. That is his 6th 3-pointer.
That's amazing. 26 points on his way to a new career high after just setting it last game. trying to make Suns fans forget about Jason Richardson.
27 the other night against San Antonio in a losing effort. Chalmers had to force it. Dudley with the two-hand lead pass broken up, but it's played by Lopez, and he draws the foul. It's on Juwan Howard.
And Eric Spoelstra wants the call at the other end with Chalmers, who drove hard to the hoop. Looked like there was some contact, did not get the call. And at this end, Lopez, the beneficiary of a lucky bounce.
So Robin Lopez will go to the free throw line. He's 2 of 3 at the line. TNT January, television's most fearless series, Steve, returning to TNT.
Fearless.
Don't miss the season premiere of Southland, Tuesday, January 4th at 10, 9 Central on TNT. Jared Dudley has tied a career mark with 6 3-point shots made. It's a 10-point Miami lead. Chant of defense from this crowd.
More hopeful
yes.
than anything else.
Not a skill level you usually see from this Phoenix team. Here's Chalmers for 3. Rebounded by Dudley. Hill on the drive. Oh, he was looking for Dudley, and the pass off the mark.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication between those two. Dudley was open, and Hill thought he was going to slide over to that wing position.
Arroyo rebounded by Dudley. Sun showing some signs here. Miami has hit a cold spell here at the start of the 4th. Down to a 9-point deficit. Dudley looking to post up, and he does on Arroyo. That will be a jump ball at center court.
Well, not Dudley's best move, but he's had a phenomenal night tonight. 26 points and 10 boards. He's trying to bring his team back. Fire this past week, and you're seeing him light it up from the three-point line. 6 for 8, coming off screen, spotting up in transition. You see Hill finding him there, and in the semi-break situation, just really stroking it right now. And you know, the thing with Dudley, he's been on fire of late, but early in the season really wasn't seeing a lot of minutes, a result of that overloaded wing position in Phoenix. And question for Dudley, when Vince Carter returns, Alvin Gentry plans to put Carter back into the starting lineup, and you're still going to have to try to find minutes for Dudley, Childress, Petrus. So they're still really overloaded at that wing spot.
And don't you feel usually a coach is in the best possible shape with an 8 or 9-man rotation as LeBron draws the foul? It is on Hill. You have too many guys in one position.
Yeah, it's very rare that anybody plays more than 9. Alvin played 10 last year, but the reserves lined up perfectly. There was a backup at every position. This year, too many wings and not enough big men, hence the Gortat trade. But the tough part as a coach is having to sit guys like Childress, who you've just signed for about $6 million a year. If you have rookies, it's no big deal. But you see a guy like Childress who's used to playing and came here with the intention of being a part of the rotation. He's had several DNPs this year, and it's just been too difficult for Gentry to figure out the equation.
I would think shortly we will see the return of Steve Nash, who's played only 24 minutes. Might it be that the stinger that he suffered, a nerve injury in the neck and shoulder area, has limited his minutes tonight, but he has come up with a most unusual game. Nash with 16 assists. Dudley again. That's a new career high, surpassing the career high that was set the other night of 27 against San Antonio. He now has 28 points on 10 of 14 from the field. James for three. So LeBron right back. He has 30 points. 81-69 Miami. But Nash without a point and 16 assists. Here's Fry for three. Steve, the NBA record for most assists without scoring is held by John Lucas as a member of the San Antonio Spurs. Did it against Denver in April of 1984. 24 assists without a point. Here's James for three. And here's Dragic on the move and then pulls up. Hill wide open. Rebounded by Howard. How about a 24 assists without a point? And we happen to have that footage. Not just kidding.
You know what that stat reminds me of, though, is Dennis Rodman used to have games where he'd have like 19 rebounds and no points. And it was almost like he'd go out of his way not to shoot. He just didn't want to.
And occasionally, he would take those straightaway one-handers, and his touch was not bad.
Wasn't bad. And here comes Nash back. And you know, the thing I love about Nash is that normally in games, he just kind of waits and figures out what's needed. And if it's passing and creating, he does that. If it's scoring, he'll go that route. And tonight, I think Miami has just done such a good job on him on pick and rolls. He really hasn't had the opportunity to shoot much.
He hasn't been able to split through because, as you mentioned, the length of that front line of Miami, and we have not seen the Steve Nash circle movement that frequently. They have packed it in. Just under 7 remaining in this fourth quarter. 81-72 Miami. Nash defending on Chalmers. Bosch played by Fry. Jones passed on a 3, hit the 2. James Jones in the starting lineup tonight for the injured Dwayne Wade. He's given the Heat an 11-point advantage.
And I love what he did. Use the three-point line as your friend to set up the defense and then step in, take the easier shot.
Lopez came up short, doubling with the rebound and pops it out. Nash, you see he's followed by a double team, but got it down low. Hill with the bucket. Make it assist number 17 for Nash.
Working on Lucas's record. 7 more. But don't shoot.
I'm sure he's concerned about that.
It's all he's thinking about right now.
Chalmers with a runner, high off glass.
I'm really impressed with both Chalmers and Arroyo. You know, they've done a nice job in this role as the kind of point guard by committee as James comes up with the near steal.
Fry, rebounded by Bosch. Yes, both Chalmers and Arroyo been solid tonight. Mario Chalmers began last season as the starting point guard, lost the job to Carlos Arroyo. Here's James for 3, way off, but Bosch is on it. They have a new shot clock. James surrounded down low. Now played by Fry with help. Chalmers open for 3. Back tap and a foul. Loose ball foul against the Heat. Foul on Joel Anthony. That is his 5th.
Well, Chalmers with 9 points tonight and a couple of really big buckets, including that 3 a while ago that stemmed the tide for Miami. And this, just a beautiful floater.
Tonight with a sore left knee, but he still made the most of his trip to Phoenix. Last night he spent time at the St. Vincent de Paul homeless shelter along with his mother, Jolinda. Jolinda was once a homeless victim herself, and the two have been major supporters of St. Vincent de Paul since the All-Star Game was held here 2 years ago. Their message, no matter what problems you may have, don't give up.
All right, thank you, Craig. Ball back to Miami. Dwayne Wade sitting out with a sore left knee. Got involved in a collision with Jason Kidd the other night. Banged it with Kidd. It's actually tendonitis in his left knee, so has been sitting it out. Hopes to return against the Lakers on Saturday. Nice move by James, and he is fouled. Monday in Miami. He's right there in the fourth quarter of the Dallas 2-point victory over the Heat. Dwayne did not participate in shoot-around earlier today and sitting it out here this evening.
Long flight, obviously, from Miami to Phoenix yesterday, and the knee really swelled up. Let's hope that it's better for Saturday. Everybody wants to see that game, and I think Miami is positioned to go into Staples and win. Lakers really struggling. They had an ugly night against Milwaukee at home the other night, and this is the game Miami kind of needs to win to show the country that, all right, you know, we can beat the elite teams.
And that has been a question mark. Of course, you play those who are on the schedule. Yeah. But of the 21 wins coming into tonight,
well, the Lakers only have 2 wins versus winning teams. They've had a really easy schedule as Nash gets fouled on the penetration. So LA's scheduled late than Phoenix.
And now Steve Nash in a position to put some points on the board, along with the assist total, which is at 17. Look at the matchup. Christmas Day, Saturday.
How about that? Out of 30 games, the Lakers have only played 5 games against teams with winning records. We're talking to Alvin Gentry before the game as Nash puts that Lucas record out of reach. But Gentry was talking about their schedule. Think about it. They've already played Miami twice. They've played Orlando. They've played the Lakers twice. They've played Utah a couple times. Denver twice. Portland twice. I mean, unbelievable.
Switch to the Eastern Conference.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
Well, but the point is, it's going to get a lot better, and if this trade works out, you know, they could make a push in the second half.
But has there been a situation, no matter what a team's record, as they double up on James? Here's Bosch from straight away. No matter how well a team is doing, a coach always complains about the schedule.
Yeah, but in this case, and I didn't even mention San Antonio twice, Oklahoma City. I mean, I think it's legitimate. And the key for Phoenix, they got to take advantage of it when it comes.
Nash not able to hit, and it's tipped over to Chalmers.
Most coaches complain about the overseas trip that they took in the exhibition season. That's usually the go-to move for NBA coaches. They complain about that trip all season long.
Why don't you run down as LeBron now has 34, all the complaints that we've heard from NBA coaches in our get-togethers with them prior to games. Dudley draws the foul on the fake, and it's number 5 on James.
How about injuries? Now, James has to respect the three-point shot from Dudley. He's knocked down 6 of them already tonight. Very smart play from Dudley drawing that foul, knowing they were in the penalty.
Dudley 2 of 4 at the line and adds to his career high. That's now 29 points. Here's Josh Childress coming on for Marcin Gortat. Stay tuned to watch EJ's Need-O-Stat of the Night. Need-O-Stat of the Night would be the correct way of describing that. Presented by HP during Inside the NBA following the Heat and the Suns. How about coaches complaining about having to go to the grocery store because their wife needs a quart of milk? Steve, we've heard enough.
You came up with that one. I haven't heard that one yet, but it's probably only a matter of time. But Dudley, first time at the 30-point mark in his career, but it's probably too little too late for Phoenix. Miami has been in complete control of the tempo all night.
James played by Childress. Down to 5 on the 24. LeBron to the fade. Rebounded by Hill. Still plenty of time. It's an 11-point lead. James playing with the 5 fouls. Nash, there's that circle move and a running hook. Steve Nash with his first field goal, and Eric Spoelstra says, let's talk it over.
Well, Alvin Gentry has gone to the small lineup that we haven't seen all night, and maybe this is what can get Phoenix's offense going here in the late going. Steve Nash, is there anybody better in the NBA with that little hook shot?
Carry over what we've been doing. I think the key is just to be optimistic. We got to work together and try to make the most of it. So, let's enjoy it. And I think the more you enjoy it and the more emphasis you put on helping each other, being a good team, the quicker you'll become a team and get through that transition.
Well, it's going to take some time. You look at Orlando, they come up with a big win tonight, but those first 2 games were painful for the Magic, and now we're going to see the Hack Anthony. Is that how it's pronounced?
I believe that's it, yes.
Hack Joel.
Yeah.
Let's see, are they one more until the penalty, and quickly Eric Spoelstra will get Juwan Howard into the ballgame, replacing Anthony. But yeah, I mean, it always takes time, and mid-season trades are the most difficult for a team because you're trying to do everything on the fly. You don't have a lot of practice time. You see Todd and Carter and Petrus, but I think given time, I think that the fit seems good, and I think the Suns will figure it out and get better.
Ball was poked away but recovered by Chalmers. Just under 3 remaining in the 4th. Here's Chalmers. Yes. He thought he was fouled, but Mario Chalmers with a big bucket. He now has 11 and extends back to an 11-point Miami lead. Childress. Offensive foul. He's called for the charge. The bucket does not count.
Once again, just an unbelievable rotation by the Miami defense. They're so in tune with each other. James Jones, we've seen him come over from the weak side to make several outstanding plays tonight. And he's set, he's outside the lane. Looked like a good call.
Miami is led by as many as 14. Phoenix has cut the big lead down to 9 on 6 occasions, have not been able to get any closer. It's back to 11 with time running out on the Suns. James to the reverse, and he draws the foul.
Now this is the problem with the small lineup for the Suns. They go to Childress at the 4, Fry at the 5. That means Childress has to guard Chris Bosh. The immediate double team, Miami recognizes it, and LeBron James ends up with the ball and a lane for penetration because of that double team.
It's number 5 on Fry. James 6 of 6 at the line, has had a superb game. Point number 35 for LeBron. Here's what's coming up on TNT Inside the NBA with E.J. Kenny and Charles. And next Thursday here on TNT, it'll be the New York Knicks and the Orlando Magic from Orlando, and the San Antonio Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks from Dallas. Terrific doubleheader coverage starts 7 o'clock with the Auto Trader tip-off show. And earlier here on TNT, the Magic with a 123-101 victory over the Spurs. Childress rejected by Chalmers. LeBron now has 36, his high point game as a Heat 38. With just under 2 to go in this 4th quarter. So the Spurs' 10-game win streak was stopped earlier tonight by the Magic. The Magic now 17-12. San Antonio 25-4. Dudley able to break it up. James hit the deck. Nash met by Jones. Dudley for 3 again. He adds to his career high 7 3-pointers for Dudley. 11 of 15 overall, 33 points. Coming off the 27 the other night, off the steal. Dudley and Chalmers chase it down, and it's Miami ball.
Well, unfortunately for Phoenix, they just haven't been able to get anybody else going. Channing Frye, the second leading scorer with 14. But take a look, the good defensive play, and Dudley just doesn't have the speed to catch up to this one. He tries to make a little acting flop there to go to the foul line, but good no call from the officials.
Coming up on a minute remaining here in the 4th. And now Miami using the clock. Chalmers forced it up with the shot clock down to 3. Here comes Nash. Nash pulls it up for 3. So Steve Nash with 18 assists is 1 of 4 from the field.
The story of the night, though, has been tempo. And remember that number that Craig Sager gave us at halftime. Suns 0-8 when they don't score 100 points. It's about to become 0-9.
That's That's a three-point attempt by Jones. Incidentally, Steve Nash's career high is 22 assists. Dudley for three. Rebounded by James. And that will wrap it. Miami Heat going to a record of 22-9. They've won 13 of their last 14. It's been a very busy schedule, too. They've played 7 games in 11 nights. And they are on the right track, led by LeBron James with 36 points. Chris Bosh with 23. The Phoenix Suns have now dropped 6 of their last 8. And they are now 13-15 on the season. The high point man for the Suns, Jared Dudley, a new career high with 33, including 7 from beyond the arc. He hit 11 of 16 from the field, plus 12 rebounds. 4-year man out of Boston College had a sensational game. Chris Bosh coming up with another solid performance, 9 for 17, 23 points, 11 rebounds, and he's with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Chris, you guys now won 13 of your last 14. Why did things start to gel, and what's the big difference from the beginning of the year?
I mean, I think it's just time on the court together. You know, you have to go through ups and downs to get to where you want to go. We experienced some downs pretty early, but, you know, it didn't separate us. It brought us closer together, and we've been figuring out how to win basketball games, so that's all that matters.
How did you have to adjust your game, or what sacrifices did you have to make?
Well, I mean, I had to make a lot. I'm used to having the ball in my hands a lot. I'm used to being more of the creator. I think now, you know, I still get the ball in the post a little bit, but guys are kicking the ball back to me, and I'm making different decisions, and defensively it's a different system. So I've just been getting used to it. I know that I'm going to play a lot better, and I'm going to get better as the game goes on.
As this game came to the close, I saw some of your teammates go one more. Are they referring to the next game, which is against the Lakers?
Yeah, we want to get every game. We look at every road trip as a whole. This is like a small road trip for us. We took every game on the last road trip, and we're looking forward to doing the same thing on this one.
All right, thanks a lot. Back to you, Marv.
All right, thank you, Craig. And coming up next, as you mentioned, for the Miami Heat, the Christmas Day, Saturday afternoon game against the Lakers at Staples in L.A. Thanks to our producer, Scott Cockerell, director Renard Aloha, statistician Brian Taylor. Once again, the final score, the Miami Heat 93 and the Phoenix Suns 83. 36 points for LeBron James, 23 and 11 for Chris Bosh. And how about Jared Dudley, career high 33, along with 12 rebounds. For Steve Kerr, Craig Sager, and the rest of the crew, I'm Marv Albert saying good night. Happy holidays from Phoenix, Arizona. Coming up next, inside the NBA Atlanta.